Hello, my name is Amir Hossein Jamalian. I am an electronic engineer. This session I want to talk about connecting this software. According to the enthusiast request asking for me how can we connect it 4 different software for simulation: TIA Portal, PLCsim, Factory IO, and FluidSim. In this session I will describe it. First, I used very useful PDF provided by Mr. Alireza Shafeghat. He is the first didactic Iran instructor. Thank you very much for his useful PDF. Okay, you have to do this list step by step. Okay, let's see what should we have. First, you should have these softwares on your PC. Number 1, TIA Portal Professional, version 14 or higher. Number 2, TIA Portal PLCsim, version 14 or higher. Number 3, EZOPC, provided by Festo Didactic, version 5.6. And number 4, FluidSim Pneumatic version 4, student version. After installing these 4 softwares, you must to do this sequence step by step. If you don't do this sequence step by step, maybe you can't simulate the softwares. Okay. First, you should click on TIA Portal version 14 and programming your PLC. Okay, let's do it. You can see TIA Portal version 14. Totally integrated automation, TIA, provided by SIEMENS. Okay. I write it down the program before and open it, but you have to write your own program. Okay, for example, I open the project 1 Factory IO, select project 1 and open it. Okay, the program open. First, select the project view and going to the main page. You can see the main page. Okay, let's go back to the PDF. Okay, you must open the TIA portal and program your own language. You can use Ladder, Grafcet, FPD, or other languages. SCL, STL, according to your opinion. But you have to use a 713 controller, and you can't use a 1000, 2000 and 1500 because they can't simulate on this method. Okay, let's go back to the TIA. As you can see, let's see the configuration, device configuration. Okay, let's look from closer view. As you can see, I used S7300 CPUs. Look at the detail. CPU 313C 2DP according to the PDF file. You can see this CPU has an one MPI interface, one interface DP, digital input, 16 digital input, 16 digital output, and counters. Okay, let's close this tab and going to the main program. Select the program blocks and FB1 or function block 1. Okay. As you can see, I program it with Grafcet language, and you can see two steps: step 1, step 2, transition 1, transition 2, and this is a jump. It means going to the S1 working as I0.0, S1 not working as I0.0, and this is the Q, Y1 working as a Q 0.0, and this is a momentary command. Okay, let's go back to the PDF file. Okay, imagine you programmed your PLC and have to choose a 7300 controller. Number 2, you should run the PLCsim. Okay, let's go back to the, let's check CPU, stop CPU, start simulation. Okay, can see, this is the PLCsim. I customized it before on the 3 sections: CPU section, input section, and output section. Okay, let's choose how this should connect to the PLCsim according to the toolbars, CPU mode. Let's cancel it. Okay. I set the MPI connection, PLCsim virtually connected with the MPI connection to the TIA portal. Okay. According to the PDF, you have to set the run P mode. Okay, let's see. Select the simulator, PLC simulator, as you can see, and set it on the run P mode. You can see run P mode. Okay, now what should we have, or what should we do? After this step, you have to run the EZOPC. Okay, I minimize it. Run the EZOPC. Okay, this is EZOPC provided by Vesta Didactic. First, you should go to the Overview tab, number 1. As you can see, Overview tab. Second, choose the process simulation in FluidSim, number 2. And number 3, connected it virtual controller to the PLCsim controller. This software helps to connect the FluidSim virtually to the PLCsim. Okay, let's set this setting. Process simulation virtually connected to the PLCsim. Okay. After it, next step, you have to select the S7 PLCsim tab, number 1. Let's do it. This tab, and after it, choose the define IO range, number 2. Define IO range. Okay. Next step, you have to set the inputs, outputs according to this setting. Digital input and output starting address from 0, number of bytes 255, analog inputs starting address from 256, number of words 16, analog outputs starting address from 256, number of words 16. Okay, let's see. 0, 255, and other settings. Okay, I set it before. Let's go to the next step, and this is down. After it, you can minimize the EZOPC. Next software you should run it is PLCsim version 4 student version, and this is not a full version because of limitation, and you can't simulate or simulation many accessories, and it's a good simulator for beginners and amateur programmers. Okay, let's start it. First of PLCsim Pneumatic version, of course, as you can see. PLCsim Pneumatic version, this is the P sign. Okay, go to the next step. I set it before and open the customized program, but I will describe it for you. Factory IO example 1. Okay, let's set it. First you should go to the option tab. As you can see, easy port OPC DDE connection option. The second tab, and now you have to set it on the OPC mode, and let's do it. OPC mode, as you can see. Next step, from the components library you can choose many modules as an inputs and outputs according to your request, of course. PLCsim out working as an input and PLCsim in working as an output. You can see let's do it. Okay. I choose a special module from library before, and you can see the PLCsim out and PLCsim in, for example, and used start solenoid valve. This is the plus voltage, this is the minus as a DC voltage, and this is a special pneumatic valves. As you can see, this is a 5 free special pneumatic valve with the pneumatic motor with shaft and 2 solenoids. Okay, now let's do the PDF. As I told you before, FloatSim out working as a PLC input, FloatSim out working as a PLC input, and FloatSim in working as a PLC output. Okay, you can see the sign EB and AB. EB equal IB input byte, AB equal QB output byte. Okay, you can choose many modules as your request, and after it double click on the any modules and set these tables. Okay, for example, according to the PDF, study didactic is at OPC1 OPC server, and the item is PLCsim EB0. This is the input address. Okay, as you can see, PLCsim EB0 working as an input address, and the output module, let's see, go to the FloatSim input port. First, the didactic is at OPC1 as an OPC server, and PLCsim AB0 as an output address. Okay, let's see. First, the didactic is at OPC2 as an OPC server, and PLCsim AB0 as an output address. Let's issue. Okay, I did it before. Okay, you can see AB working as an input and AB working as an output. Draw your circuit, for example pneumatic circuit, as your request. I draw it before, and let's go to the next step. Now everything is ready for a wonderful simulation. You can see an example. For example, you can see the proximity sensors, magnetic sensors, 4 solenoid valves, 2 cylinders, and 2 special pneumatic valves. But I used my own diagram. As you can see, it's a little different and easier than an example on the PDF. Okay, now what should we do? You should set the or push the stop mode on the, let's check it, PLCsim stop mode. Okay, let's minimize it. Okay, then number one, stop the PLCsim. Number two, going to the PLCsim and push the MERS button. This is the MERS button, as you can see. And after it, choose the 1P mode, memory reset button, MERS. You should do this operation step by step. Okay, let's do it. Go to the PLCsim, as you can see, this is the PLCsim. Push the memory reset button and all user data will be deleted. Yes. After it, choose the 1P mode. Okay, let's check the next step. Go to the TIA Portal software and download the program. Let's do it. Compile the program. First you have to save it, after then compile the program, and after it download to device. Okay, check for the device. You should tick all these steps and load. Okay, now the program loaded on the PLC simulator, and next step you should start the PLCsim and run the program. Okay, let's do it. Start. Okay, you can see the blue color, it means it's started. Okay, let's customize the softwares for better views. For example, okay, monitoring on. As you can see, your program on the TIA portal connected to PLC1 via MPI address 2 as your setting and ready to run. Okay, let's bring the PLC simulator. On the upper side, and okay, now we have three software: PLCsim Pneumatic version, PLCsim, and TIA portal, as you can see. the last step, you should start factory IO. Okay, let's it running. Okay, this is the factory IO, and simulate your production lines as your choose. Let's close it. I did it before. Let's open the sample, for example number 1. Okay, you can see it from different views. Number 1, you can see the conveyor and a special box. This is the electrical box with push button. Let's see. Okay, you have to set it for connecting to the PLCsim. Let's do it. Select the file tab, after it drivers, okay, let's it open. Okay, from this tab you can see many different choices. For example, Allen Bradley Logix 5000, TCP/IO, TCP/IP client, Modbus, Siemens logo, Siemens other versions, and you have to choose Siemens S7 PLC simulator. For example, you can't use Siemens logo because you have to use the hardware, but for the PLC simulator you don't need the hardware. Okay, as you can see, I choose the Siemens S7 PLC simulator. After it, you have to set the inputs and outputs. As you can see, I0.0, I used a start push button and connect it, select it and connect it to the I0.0, and for output I use the belt conveyor. This is the belt conveyor, and connect it to the Q0.0. Okay, and going back, and let's run the factory IO simulator. Okay, let's minimize it. Okay, sorry, it's a little big. Should to be smaller. Okay, As you can see, the factory I/O connected to the S7 PLC simulator. Okay, now I use different views of camera. Okay, let's choose the push button. As you can see, this is a push button S1. And let's customize it. Okay, let's describe these four softwares. You can see the new PLCsim Pneumatic version for simulation, the pneumatic circuit, and PLC wiring inputs and outputs. As you can see, I just use one solenoid valve Y1. For example, you can see the inputs IB0 in this section and outputs QB from Q0.0 to Q0.7, and this is the run mode. Okay, let's set it. You can see two steps, and I used I0.0 as S1. You can see this one, this is S1, and I set it on the factory I/O as I mentioned before, and Q 0.0. You can see. Okay, when I push the push button S1, you can see Q 0.0 turning on. On the TIA portal, you can see true or false. True means Q1 turning on, and false mean Q0 turning off. Okay, let's check it. On, off. You can see this is this one, this is the Y1, and this condition going to the next step. And the pneumatic motor that I mentioned before, you can see, for example, turning right and push the conveyor to the forward. On, off, on, off. Okay, I hope this video be useful for you. Thank you very much for your attention. You can see more than 119 simulation on my LinkedIn group, and of course educational pictures, and more than 113 videos on my YouTube channel. Thank you very much and bye.